Namaste children, let us learn the lesson on understanding secularism. Children, you must have observed in your neighborhood people who live belong to different religions, they go for worship to different places. This is same in other places too. People who live belong to different religions, they go for worship to different places. Hindus visit temples, perform puja, worship idols of gods and goddesses. Muslims visit mosque, worship their sacred book Quran, offer namaz 5 times in a day. Sikhs visit Gurudwara, offer prayers by listening Sabad Kirtans. Christians visit church, worship their God Jesus Christ. Does this indicate existence of freedom to people belonging to different religions to practice their religion? Yes, this indicates existence of freedom to different religious people to practice their religion. What term can we use to name the state which provides freedom to different religious people to practice their religion? Yes, secular state. Children, you have studied earlier in the chapter Indian Constitution. Constitution of India states India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic state. Let us learn today about the concept secularism, in more detailed way Indian secularism. We will learn what is secularism, what is importance of secularism in a democratic society, nature of Indian secularism, how Indian secularism works, distinctions between Western and Indian secularism. Introduction. History provides us several examples of discrimination, domination and exclusion on religious grounds. Some of the historical examples of discrimination are: in Hitler's Germany, Jews were persecuted and several millions were killed. In Jewish state Israel, its own people, Muslims and Christians, were treated quite badly. In Saudi Arabia, non-Muslims were not allowed to build temples or churches, nor allowed to gather in public places for prayers. In all these examples, members of one religion either persecute or discriminate members of other religious communities. Children, these acts of discrimination takes place more easily when one religion is accepted as official religion by the state at the expense of other religions. In a civilized society, such acts of discrimination on religious grounds are not acceptable to anyone. A civilized society is an advanced society with practices of fairness, politeness and justness. Children, we all would like to live in such a society. Indian Constitution speaks about secularism for building a civilized society. Secularism is an idea that opposes domination and discrimination on religious grounds. Secularism is a modern doctrine, has emerged in Europe as a result of conflict between the church and the state, when the Catholic Church exercised almost total authority over all aspects of human life and in the functioning of the state. As a result, a movement was organized in order to remove the interference of the church in the functioning of the state. Several secular thinkers believed the idea that religion and the state are two distinct spheres. The relation between religion and the state are mutually exclusive, if not hostile. The term secularism was first used by a British writer, George Jacob Holyoake in 1851. He used the term secularism to describe his views of promoting a social order that is grounded on rule of law, not on rule of religion. Secularism has emerged as a philosophical principle of state to promote a social order separate from religion. It means states governing cannot be the result of policies and beliefs of any organized religion. The objective of secularism is to promote human improvement through material means. Rationality and equality are the basis in the decisions of state administration. Secularism concept is based on three fundamental principles: separation, freedom and equality. The principle of separation refers to government and its entities should exist separate from religion and religious beliefs. Separation of religion and the state are most commonly recognized component of secularism. Principle of freedom refers to the freedom of the individual to practice one's own faith or belief without harming others, or to change to other religion, or not to have any religion. In one sense, freedom is an assertion of the right to be free from any religious rule or teaching. Freedom refers to the right to be free from governmental imposition of religion upon the people. Principle of equality refers to every religion is equal in recognition, respect and support. Several countries in the world have emerged as secular states. USA, France, England and India are some of the examples of secularist states. However, the secularism practiced in these countries is not same. The practices of secularism followed in different countries of the world are divided into two major forms. First, hard or negative secularism. Second, soft or positive secularism. Hard or negative secularism is that wherein strict or complete separation of state and religion is practiced. USA is an example of hard or negative secularism. On the other hand, soft or positive secularism is based on religious tolerance. India is an example of soft secularism. Positive form of secularism was thought by the makers of the Constitution of India as more applicable in the Indian situation. One of the major reason is it is most appropriate to meet the challenges in a multi-religious society. Indian Constitution allows the individual the freedom to live by their religious beliefs and practices. Thus, keeping this idea of religious freedom for all, Indian state adopted a strategy of separating the power of religion and the power of state. Why separation of state and religion important? There are two chief reasons why separation of religion and state important. First reason, separation of religion and state helps for a country to function democratically. A democracy which is based on secularism treats its all citizens as equals before law and parliament. No religious or political affiliation gives advantages or disadvantages. Religious believers are citizens with the same rights and obligations like anyone else. Almost all democratic countries in the world have more than one religious communities residing in them. Out of all these religious communities, one is a majority religion. If people from that religion come in power, if state is not a secular, there may be possibility they may favor their own religion only and tries to consolidate their power, which is against the principle of democracy. There could be other cases of persecution. Those in the majority have the chances of creating tyranny by coercion and discrimination and even killing the minority people. There are instances the majority people do not allow the minorities the freedom of religion to practice. If religion starts dominating others, it is considered as violation of rights. In a democracy, every citizen has the freedom to practice their religion. Hence, states wherein separation is lacking between religion and political institutions are known for their hierarchy and discrimination and reluctant to give freedom of religion to the members of other religious groups. For this reason, religion and state should be separated. Second reason, apart from that, it is necessary to protect individual's freedom. If individual wish to exit from his religion or her religion and embrace another religion, or wish to have freedom to interpret the teachings of religion differently. This is another reason why religion and state should be separated. Secularism and Indian Constitution. Secularism is accepted as the basic principle of Indian Constitution. Secularism in India implies everyone has the freedom to practice their religion. The principle of secularism goes further and establishes equality between the religions, means all religious people are equal, sarva dharma samabhava. Indian Constitution states that no one shall be discriminated by the state or institutions or group of people on the grounds of religion. Indian state aims to create a society wherein people of all religions could live together, a cohesive society. In order to realize the secular nature, Indian Constitution prescribes the following: one religious community should not dominate the other one. Why this is important? This is important in order to avoid discrimination, in order to establish harmony between the religions, in order to promote fundamental rights to freedom of religion. Members of one community should not dominate those who are in a minority. This is important in order to establish equality between the religious communities. The state should not enforce any one religion upon the people nor take away the religious freedom of the people. This is important in order to uphold the democratic principles which allows the citizens to choose whichever religion they wish to follow. Thus, secularism in India clearly enjoins that state shall not have its own religion. it is quite obvious that in order to treat equally all religious beliefs and followers, it would not be possible for the state to have a religion of its own, nor if it were to prefer to promote any particular religion. Secularism basically means separation of religion from politics, economy, education and large areas of social relations and culture. Treatment of religion is private and personal affair. Nature of Indian secularism. How Indian secularism works. Constitution mandated India to be a secular state. If we look at what ways does Indian state and its institution works to realize the objectives of secularism. Indian state and its institutions follows threefold strategies: distancing, non-interference, interference. Strategy of distancing. First, state uses strategy of distancing itself from religion. Indian state is not ruled by any religious group, nor Indian state supports any one religion. In India, government spaces like law courts, schools, colleges, police stations, offices are not supposed to display or propagate any one religion. All citizens, irrespective of their religious background, shares hospitals, law courts, schools, police or services of local authorities. It is essential that these public services are to be secular at the point of their use, so that no one is in disadvantaged nor denied access to on the basis of religious beliefs. Children, look at the storyboard given in the textbook, page number 22. The storyboard tells that students in the government school Simapur wants to celebrate a religious festival in the school premises. A girl student asks the teacher about celebration of a religious festival in the school premises which is coming in the following month. The teacher replies the student that celebration of religious festival in a government school is not allowed. However, school provides holidays for major religious festivals, allowing the students to celebrate them at home. Students, think further why celebration of religious festivals in the government school is not allowed. Strategy of non-interference. Second way in which Indian secularism works through the strategy of non-interference. It means in order to respect sentiments of all religions and not to interfere with any religious practice, Indian state makes certain exceptions to a particular religious communities. For example, in Sikhism, the practice of wearing a pargi is recognized by the state as essential to Sikh religious practice. In order to allow this practice and not to interfere with this, Indian state allows an exception in law that wearing a helmet during driving is not necessary for Sikh individual. Strategy of interference. The third way in which Indian secularism prevents the domination of religious groups is through the strategy of interference. Indian secularism aims to keep the state out of matters of religion. However, it does not strictly prohibit the interference of the government in religion and its affairs. Secularism allows the government to interfere into religion and its affairs for positive gains. State intervenes into religion in order to promote equality and social justice. The Indian government tries to maintain equality within the religious groups and between the religions to prevent discrimination and eradicate the practices which are derogatory to the human dignity. For example, untouchability. This is a good example wherein members of same religion dominates other members within it. Upper castes dominates the lower castes in Hindu religion. In order to prevent this religion based discrimination and exclusion, Indian constitution bans untouchability. In this instance, the state intervenes into religion in order to end the social practice which it believes discriminates and violates the fundamental rights of lower castes who are citizens of this country. State intervenes into religion in order to end the social evils. For example, the practice of infanticide. If members of a religious group claims that their religion allows them to practice the infanticide and wants to continue the practice of infanticide, government intervenes into it in order to prevent the practice of infanticide, because the practice of infanticide involves killing of innocent life, which is against the fundamental right to life, therefore unacceptable. State intervenes into religion by coercion. State intervenes into religion with positive support. In contrary to earlier two examples, Indian government engages with religion with positive support. Government provides financial assistance to establish and maintain schools and colleges under religious organizations with an intention to build a composite culture. Children, as you observe above examples, it is stated that Indian state both keeps away from religion and intervenes into religion. This idea can be quite confusing. Though Indian state is allowed to interfere into religion, state does maintain principled distance vis-a-vis religion. This means that any interference in religion by the state has to be based on ideals laid out by the constitution. These ideals serve as standards through which one can judge whether state is or is not behave as per secular principles. From these examples, one can state that Indian secularism provides ways to deal with the issues that arise from diverse nature of Indian society, cultural differences and moreover religious sentiments. Comparison of Western and Indian secularism. Children, we have already discussed how Indian secularism differs from Western concept. In India, it is not mutual exclusion, rather principled distance, a complex idea which allows the state to be distant from all religions, so that it can interfere or abstain from interference depending upon which of the two would better promote liberty, equality and social justice. In Western secularism, total non-interference of state and religion in the functioning of each other is practiced. In the Indian secularism, there is no wall of separation between religion and state. State can interfere in religion in order to remove evil practices in the religion. On the other hand, Indian secularism allows the state to interfere into religion, to act as healthy and reformative interaction with the religion. In Western secularism, government cannot provide financial assistance to schools and colleges established and maintained by religious organizations, whereas in Indian secularism, government provides financial assistance to establish and maintain schools and colleges under religious organizations. Indian secularism also differs from Western secularism. In France, wearing religious signs and symbols are strictly prohibited in public places. Wearing Islamic headscarf and Jewish skull cap is strictly prohibited in the schools in France. In India, wearing religious signs and symbols are not restricted in public places. Children, we have understood several aspects of secularism. Let me summarize what we have learned. Secularism is the principle that refers government and its entities should exist separately from religion and religious beliefs. The basic meaning of Indian secularism is equal respect of all religions in terms of recognition, respect and support by the state. Indian constitution mandated India to be a secular state. In India, there is no official religion of state. State remains neutral with all religions. Indian secularism aims to create a society wherein people of all religions live together, means creating a cohesive society. Indian constitution prescribed 3 objectives for a secular state of India. One community should not dominate other one. Members of one religious community should not dominate members who are in a minority. State should not enforce any religion upon the people nor take away the religious freedom of individuals. Indian state and its entities follows threefold strategies to uphold secularism in India: distancing, non-interference, interference. In Indian secularism, though the state is allowed to interfere into religion, state does maintain principled distance vis-a-vis religion. It means any interference of the state in religion should be based on constitutional ideals. Indian secularism provides ways to deal with the issues that arise from diverse nature of Indian society, cultural differences and religious sentiments. Children, there are some activities for you to be completed at home. Prepare a brief answer to them. Explain in your own words what is secularism. Explain why secularism is important for a democratic state, why separation of state and religion is important for a democratic state. What are the strategies used by the state to uphold secularism? What are the distinctions between Western and Indian secularism? Why celebration of religious festivals are not allowed in government schools? Children, you have understood the concept of secularism and its importance for a democratic state, objectives of secular state of India and different ways of upholding secularism in Indian state. Indian approach to secularism is not based on tight separation of religion and state, rather healthy and reformative interaction with the religion. Children, understanding secularism helps us to be aware and be sensitive to organize our lives and participate in social life as secularist citizens. Children, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I thank all of you for paying attention. Thank you.